So it is day 28 of my water fast, and I'm going to carry on from yesterday's post. God is training me to maintain a quiet mind amidst all the chaos. And today was actually no exception to that rule. Things got really noisy. But God is training me to hear Him and to follow Him, even though things may get noisy sometimes, and to hear His whisper and to hear His instruction and His directions. And so I'm just going to say thank you for offering me another opportunity to practice this discipline and this skill. I hadn't seen that as a blessing until just now. So thank you so much. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how I followed Him today. So today I was anxious. I don't know why, but I was anxious. I watched a few movies with a patient who had early onset dementia. I encouraged her to eat her food and kept her focused on eating. It was a really successful day for her. But for me, I became anxious in the process. And while I enjoyed spending time with her and seeing her grow and have a really good day, for me, I was anxious afterwards. So I got off of work and I did what I would normally do. It's like I'm following my own protocols. I took an enema that will relieve anxiety within and clear you out. So I took an enema and then I took my supplements. I did 30 minutes growing ananas, so I with stationary, so it wasn't like I was jumping. I can't do cardio right now, but I did weights and just poured sweat, just really poured sweat. I did lunges, like it felt really good. I'll make sure I tag the video that I did today in the description below. It was a really good video. So I did weights and I wanted to burn that energy, because when your body has that energy, you want to burn it. So I did growing ananas. And then I said, God, I am still feeling anxious, and I didn't know how I was going to post. And then I was led to read one of my Bible studies. I'm in Proverbs. I've spent the month in Proverbs right now. It's the longest I've ever spent on a book, but man, is it so good. It's so good. After each of the chapters, I go through, and within Proverbs, I literally take a play-by-play. I take every verse, one verse at a time, and I make my own study guide out of that verse. So I'm basically, in Proverbs, I am summarizing each verse in my own words. And I pulled out Proverbs 12. It was the next in my stack. When I don't have time to get into a new word, I pull these out and I read them. And this was the next in my stack. I was led to read it. And I'm just going to read you a couple of the ones. It's a theme. There's a theme here and an answer to my prayer. So this is chapter 12 of Proverbs, and this is essentially the second chapter in the contrast between the upright and the wicked. And I have practice discipline. Be a woman of honor and steadfast. Speak life into others. Speak life, truth, and act justly. The themes are recurring in these chapters. When you are anxious, speak life and be at ease. Lead by example. An upright person leads by example. remains focused, quiet, and shows the way. Be upright. The way of the righteous is upright. We breathe life into others and our path. And our path leads to eternal life. I found an answer to my prayers in this, because it is a discipline to post every day. It is a discipline to show up. It is a discipline to be a woman of honor. It is a godlike quality. And that starts with being honorable to yourself. To be steadfast within, which means consistent. You are steadfast, you are consistent, rooted in your behavior. That you speak life into others. That you speak life and truth. And it says, when you are anxious, speak life and be at ease. And I thought, man, do I have an opportunity to speak life into other people right now? So I am so gonna do it. I am so going to do it. So I'm taking the opportunity to speak life into other people because, man, I've got 3 really good examples of speaking life into other people. So it's totally a God story, right? This is totally a God thing. So what's the point on having a platform if you cannot give shout outs to those that come into your experience, especially those people that share similar values that you do, like people that serve allergen-free foods, or those people the entrepreneurs that put in the time and the effort. They practice discipline and diligence in their work. Those who lead by example, those who are faithful and steadfast in their business and their growth, like their personal and professional growth, those who show up, those who follow through on their commitments, those who practice generosity of spirit. These are the people that I want to breathe life into. And so I'm going to speak life into these people and totally uplift myself, and I'm going to lift them up too. I'm going to lift them up in prayer. I'm going to lift them up in support. And what is this life if we are not just supporting one another, right? So the first 2 people that I'm going to speak life into, they are female business owners, strong female small business owners. And then the third is a male business owner, but they're all business owners here locally. And I have stories for you for each one of them. My first, her name is Emily, and she is the owner of Emily's gluten-free goodies. And that's based out of Zionsville, Indiana. And she is a small business owner. She is at the farmers markets. So every Saturday she shows up at the farmers markets and she has all of these wonderful goodies, and I always stop by her stand because I look at them, but because there is sugar in them, I do not buy them. But they are gluten-free and some are dairy-free also. So they are a service to all of those who are gluten-free, right? And they look absolutely incredible. Well, my story here is that on Saturday, I decided to go to Starbucks to work after I did my run, and I went by the farmers markets. I went to Starbucks to work on my content versus going to the library. And something just led me to go. It was like, don't go to the library, go to Starbucks. So I was like, I'm going to Starbucks. On my way into Starbucks, there are 2 ladies sitting outside Starbucks, and there are a few really good looking goodies right next to her. And I thought, those are from the farmer's market. I gotta stop. I gotta ask her what she got. And I'm like, what did you get? And she said, well, do you know Emily's gluten-free goodies? I'm her mom. And these Emily gave me, and she, as generous as she is, I had never tried them. As generous as she is, she allowed me to choose my favorites. She gave me Emily's bestseller, which is a coffee cake. She gave me a white chocolate sprinkles sugar cookie. And then she also gave me a brownie, which was her mother's favorite. And she's like, you've got to try this. Well, I explained to her that I am fasting for 40 days and I would not be able to consume these until much later, if not a month later. and that they freeze really well. So I have wrapped them and they are in the freezer. Generosity of spirit. Also a fantastic example of someone who literally found her purpose, showed up, and has shown up every single week and is building a name for herself in Zionsville and Carmel, Indiana. You can find her on Instagram at Emily's Gluten-Free Goodies, and you reach out to her if you're interested in trying her things. The next person, her name is Felicia, and she owns the Soul Food Shack. Now, Felicia is the daughter of one of my patients. She was speaking life into her food and into everyone. She's just a very generous and kind person. She is passionate about her food. Felicia is a Black female business owner in Indianapolis, Indiana. She actually owns 17 small businesses in Indianapolis, including the Soul Food Shack. She owns at least 4 childcare and at-home health care and others. So she is a strong, independent go-getter is what she is. Now she's really is passionate about her food. These are her recipes, her family's recipes, and she is very passionate about her food. She speaks life into her food. And so I thought, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. She drove to bring her mother food at her bedside. And she brought me a tasting of all of her favorite foods, all of the very best that always sell out. She brought me spaghetti and meat sauce. She brought me oxtail and oxtail dressing, which is her sister's recipe and a special for that day. She brought me mac and cheese. She brought me her homemade cornbread and then also her homemade caramel cake. Now, I cannot consume this, so I gave this away, but I want to get a shout out to her because she is not only generous with her love language, generous with what she has. She shared a story with me and she fed a man who came in that did not have money to eat while she had gone back. She fed him and gave him all that she needed. Someone who is generous like that deserves to be recognized. Felicia and the Soul Food Shack, God bless you, and we lift you up. Now, the third person that I want to speak life into is ADEL'S GYRO'S. Now, I met someone at Starbucks on Saturday, and we started talking food, and I started showing him pictures of my food because I'm proud of my food, and he showed me pictures of his food. He loves to barbecue. He loves the meats. He told me about Greek food. I told him I wanted to try Greek food. He said, you've got to go try Greek food at 106th and College. It's a small shack. It's a small location. You would miss it if you didn't know it was there. He said, they serve the very best Greek food in town. You've got to try it. And so I thought, after church, I actually went looking for this. And I stopped in and I met Adele. And Adele takes great pride in his food. I told him that I was on a fast and that I was just exploring. We got into a conversation. He says, you come back and I will make you a tasting of all of these things. He says, I want you to taste my food. Okay, generosity, right? He wants to give me food. He wants to feed me, and a food that I've never had before. I am very grateful for this, Adele. So after this, I leave. He gives me a menu. We've got a plan. I said I'd come back in a month and I would totally try his food. And like stuffed grape leaves and homemade baba ganoush and his gyro, his lamb meat I've heard is fantastic. Anyway, he wants to give me a tasting of all of his stuff. After I leave, I am prompted, I have a prompting, and it was call him and ask him if he wants to have dinner with you at his restaurant versus me just going to his restaurant. Ask him if he wants to have dinner at his restaurant with you. And so this evening I called him and I followed that prompting and I had a conversation with him and I invited him to come and sit with me and we will dine together when I come. And he was very receptive to that. And asked me a couple of personal questions to kind of get to know me a little better. And then I asked him a few questions to get to know him a little better. And I was able to hear more of his story. And the thing is that we all need connection. We all need people. We all need connection. And that is why to share space, to share food, to dine together as he's speaking my love language to me by feeding me. It is one of my love languages. It is actually my primary love language, food. It would be an incredible opportunity, an incredible experience, and he was very receptive. So I'm going to share a meal with him, and we are going to dine together, and I will follow up with you and share with you all about, I will tell you all about it. But I want to speak love and life into these three people, Adele and Felicia and Emily, and I will put links to their businesses below. But to speak life and lift them up and wish them the very best. When you are anxious, speak life and be at ease. And oh my gosh, I am just feeling so much better. I'm so glad that I made this post. I'm so glad that I made this post. This is just worth it to me. So thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow for day 29.